Karate for guys who never learned karate, main events that may or may not happen, and storylines that go absolutely nowhere. Now that's what I call wrestling. Hey there, sports fan. My name is Kit Parsons, better known as professional wrestler Magnum CK, and this is Now That's What I Call Wrestling, the good, bad wrestling show. There's really nothing else in the world quite like this. You know, lots of people have talked over wrestling over the past 1 billion years. But there's nothing quite like Now That's What I Call Wrestling. Mostly because there's nothing quite like the WWE. And if you're new here, I ain't talking about the WWE you're probably thinking of when you think I'm talking about the WWE. I'm talking about the World Wrestling Empire. The most diabolical wrestling in 1995 Tulsa, Oklahoma Tri-County area, at least. We've been diving in deep. This is episode 7. Episode 7! If you've never watched the show before, you're just watching wrestling with me, bud. I'm going to talk about it. You can talk about it. We can all talk about it. Because none of it matters, because it happened 30 years ago. This show is all about celebrating the worst amongst us. I don't see any need for any more preamble. Get prepared to show a reaction for the action, and let's dive in.
The World Wrestling Empire.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a reaction to the action of the World Wrestling Empire. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Ledge with my co-host, Devlin Blanchard. We got a heck of a card coming up tonight at you. Going to see...
Why does Devlin Blanchard look so sad? Like, what happened? Right before they went on the air, Devlin Blanchard just found out that he didn't get the job. So he just called home, checked his answering machine, he didn't get it.
You're going to see Renegade defend that title against Shane Cortez.
While most things have stayed the same here in the World Wrestling Empire, and that it's just a mess and it's just all over the place, we have some new stuff in that there are actual storylines kind of taking place here. So I have to unpack some of this for you. So you're just going to have to bear with me, but it's fascinating.
The board has ruled that the 30-day rule is in effect, and Renegade has to put the title up tonight. Raymond says he won't be ready, but we'll see what happens.
All right, so Shane Cortez, who could not be bothered to look at the camera for his photo, apparently, kind of doing that like 1970s portrait where there's like the double exposure with like well, I can just show it. Right, so they have a bunch of BS rules here in the WWE that you have to defend your title within 30 days or you get stripped of it. We've never seen Renegade, but week after week we've heard dribs and drabs about how somebody attacked Renegade and Renegade has been in the hospital, which is wild because he's been in the hospital for like 3 months at this point. So I don't know what happened to Renegade, but he's been laid up. And the rumor was that Shane Cortez was the culprit. Shane Cortez denies this, but the last time Shane Cortez talked about this, he said, "Renegade, you said I put you in the hospital, but I didn't put you in the hospital at all. I don't even know what you are talking about. But if you want to tell people that I put you in the hospital, then I will beat up you and put you in the hospital then." That's basically what happened, right? So nobody knows what's going on, all right? No, there is not a trustworthy narrator within 1,000 miles of this show. So who knows what's happening?
Exactly. Of course, got Leopard Man coming up against a fine opponent in JT Rocker.
I have absolutely nothing to say about JT Rocker.
Devlin Blanchard is acting like his mom invited over her new boyfriend for Thanksgiving and he's not happy about it. Like, he's going to eat the meal. He has to sit there and eat the meal, but he's not going to look at him. He's not going to look at Todd, and he's certainly not going to call him Dad.
See the continuation of the feud between Dirty Dan Wilder and the
Tennessee Rebel.
First things first, get it out of the way. Tennessee Rebel sucks. Secondly, they can call him Dirty Dan Wilder all they want. We know that that's regular Dan. Dirty Dan is the other one. It doesn't matter what they want to put on the screen. Doesn't matter what they want to call themselves. That's regular Dan. This is another example of I hope the ring wins, right? Like I hope the ring collapses in and pins both of these guys for like long enough to where, you know, they don't even have to worry about resuscitation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to get too grim here, but I want the ring to collapse on both of these guys, and I want them to be. I want their heart to stop, and I want the paramedic to be crying in the corner, and a family to be called, and they're gonna say, "Don't even bother coming down because it's too gruesome. You don't need to just have to okay." That's exact. Not trying to be too graphic, but that's what I'm hoping for.
A title defense tonight. Former tag team partners, Predator goes after the Beast for that heavyweight belt.
I kind of quit paying attention for a second, but it feels like there's like 9 matches on this show. Like I don't know what's going on here. Feels like there's a lot. We've seen plenty of Beast lately. He's the champion. TJ Steele didn't show up for his defense, so they stripped him of the belt and just gave it to Beast, who then the next week just became a good guy for no reason. Predator is neither a good guy nor a bad guy. From Singapore, Predator walks this earth eternally. From Singapore, Predator has never been born, nor shall he die. From Singapore, Predator is not even mythological. He's beyond mythos. From Singapore, Predator was here before time began, and he will be here long after time stops.
Number one, I want to thank the people of the WWE board for giving me the title shot to wrestle Renegade.
Shane Cortez appears to be played by a young Gilbert Gottfried.
And number two, at any time that Flaming Raymond wants to step in the square circle with me, like I said last week, you signed the dotted line, step in the square circle, brother. It's between me and you.
But Shane Cortez is always the most particularly horrified by the prospect that he has to hold a microphone and stare into a camera and say words. I didn't even hear what he said. I don't know that I'm the most empathetic person that I know, but my empathy was peaked. Like it was off the charts because I didn't hear anything he said. I was just worried about him the whole time he was speaking. I don't know what he knows that we don't, or what he's going through that we'll never know. We only ever see, I've always said this about Shane Cortez, we only ever see the tip of the Shane Cortez iceberg, man. We just see the young, kind of mostly expressionless face, but underneath that's where everything is. That's where all the weight is. And I hope that Shane Cortez can find his happiness again.
Well, let's get on to this first match tonight. I'll let you intro, and I'm going to head for the ring.
Okay, first match tonight pits Leopard Man, who just a couple of weeks ago, we saw him win his first match.
Is Devlin Blanchard here via court order? Like, is this like a weird sitcom where like he had a car accident with the person who owned World Wrestling Empire, but Devlin didn't have insurance, and so now he has to be like a commentator character on their show? He seems entirely reluctant. He seems like he is putting in time for some sort of like court mandated service. I've never seen a guy less enthusiastic about being on television in my life.
Against my former protege, JT Rocker. I have nothing to say about JT Rocker except for the fact that he's a little bit stingy with his money and a little cheap, not wanting to pay the king, the prince. I'm sorry. My sincere apologies.
Is he in trouble with like the pro wrestling mafia, like the mob? Maybe that's why Devlin Blanchard's here. It's not that a judge made him be there. Maybe Devlin Blanchard had so many debts to the wrestling mafia that they're forcing him to be a host on this show. Now that I say that out loud, though, that's the only thing that makes sense.
You know him as Leopard Man.
We've been seeing a lot of Leopard Man lately, and the bloom is off the rose for me with Leopard Man. I was excited about Leopard Man when I first saw him because look at him. I mean, like, what the hell is this guy, right? Leopard Man looks like he just got done unsuccessfully robbing a bank. Leopard Man looks like what 1980s sitcoms thought pro wrestlers looked like. Like, I'd bet my next paycheck that Leopard Man was on Married with Children as Leopard Man. But Leopard Man had never won a match in the WWE. He just beat the former champion, TJ Steele, in the middle of the ring. Now he's on a bit of a winning streak, I guess, is the vibe now. So we can only hope that Leopard Man's luck will run out and he'll go back to his losing ways. And maybe if he loses bad enough, we'll never see him again. We have to hold on to that hope. like a painting come to life. JT Rocker just appears out of his match graphic photo. Hollywood, California. Hollywood, Florida, maybe. While I don't know where JT Rocker is actually from geographically, I know where he's from this afternoon, which is 4th grade. This young man, I can only assume, had a very bright future possibly in front of him, but he is toiling away, throwing it, just tossing it down the drain here in the World Wrestling Empire against Leopard Man.
Even have the guts to show up here anymore.
That's kind of cruel to say. You know Abba is not able to show up here.
Yeah, I think Abba's hiding is what I think.
Well,
I don't understand. So, like, it's like we've gone back in time because episodes leading up to this, we had some like fog machines. We had different color of lights. We had theme music. Some of it was piped in, some of it was live, but now we have no pomp and circumstance, no theme music. It's just, guys, it's like the 1960s. It's weird. It's like when you know a restaurant's probably going to go out of business soon, right? Because it's like, yeah, like, I don't know, like there's like some light bulbs out and like, it doesn't seem as clean in here as I remembered. And like, why'd they add so many things to the menu? Like, what's going on? World Wrestling Empire is dangerously close to being visited, critiqued, and then fixed by Gordon Ramsay. JT Rocker's not a rocker. He could be JT Junior Accountant. He could be JT, son of a car wash owner who gave him a job during the summer. He could be JT Junior Camp Counselor. All these things would work. He could be JT Little Mac from Punch-Out. We'll take any of these, but Rocker ain't one of them.
Leopard Man wrestling with a little more determination and a little less enthusiasm than I've seen in the past. Could this be due in part to some of the education that he's received recently in the Empire?
well, I mean, look at Rocker. Leopard Man offered him his hand. There's one thing I told him when I was his manager, and that was never refuse the handshake of an honest man. And Leopard...
The biggest advice that Devlin Blanchard gave his former client was never refuse the handshake of an honest man. Like, what kind of advice is that? Like, I guess I don't disagree with it, but also, like, what situation, other than professional wrestling, what situation are you ever thrust into where you even have an option to refuse a handshake? Like, can you imagine if, like, you went to a meeting? So you're at work and you got a business meeting with, like, another office or something, or a client. You walk into the conference room, everyone from, you know, the client side, they all stand up, smile, say hello. You know, other guy sticks out his hand to shake it. You stop, look at it, take a look at everyone to the left, everyone to the right, back at him. Smack his hand out of the way. When's that ever going to come up? It barely comes up in wrestling. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's, in this economy, maybe that's the problem. Maybe in real life, we need to embrace the tropes and quirks of pro wrestling. Maybe next time you go to a business meeting, you need to hide a foreign object. And when no one's looking, put it on your knuckles and work someone over with it. Maybe next time, you know, you're in a long presentation at work that you don't want to listen to, you just take out a little razor blade and just do a little giggy job on your forehead. Oh man, I gotta go home. Maybe next time Your boss is giving you a review that you feel like was unfair, maybe too personal, and a little too pointed. You just turn around, rub the mysterious glands in your throat, and you come up and spray a poison mist right in his face. Could it really hurt?
The Leopard Man says so, and he slams his head into the turnbuckle.
You know, there's one thing I will say. Whenever I was managing JT Rocker, him and I worked out.
I hate that I like some of the things that Leopard Man does, like where he just fell like a dead body. Like he just fell like in an old mystery movie where they would open up the closet and like the butler would fall out with a knife in his back. Oh, every once in a while, one of these guys does something that I really like, and it just makes me say, oh.
Him and I worked out a lot together. I worked on new moves with him. He has got one of the most lethal forearms. There was one time in particular, I remember we were working out, and I told him to go ahead and throw the forearm on me to practice it. He knocked me out cold. So he does have a tenacious forearm.
So, stop lying. Devlin Blanchard expects us to believe that he was training JT Rocker, first of all, strike three, because Devlin Blanchard's not training anybody, and JT Rocker's not trained. So get out of here. He was like, yeah, you got a pretty good forearm, kid. Why don't you hit me with it? And he just got knocked out. Like, what kind of training class is this? Is the building where this training's happening? Are they aware of what's going on in there? Does anybody have an insurance policy? What are the limitations on that insurance policy? Do we really need to bring some reality into this, or can you just like make up whatever you want? It's not that he's saying something that's untrue. He's saying something that's not even unbelievable. It's just stupid. What does that bit of fiction do for anyone or anything?
What's that do for the greater good?
The answer is, like all of the rest of this, it does nothing for anyone.
A tenacious forearm.
And there that elbow took.
So that's not a headlock. This is a headlock, and you go like this because you got this little bone here, you know, and you pull that into someone's head. This is a head squeezy. Because I don't know, that's kind of nice. Like that's kind of pillowy, you know. Like you could just really kind of nuzzle someone and just have a good old relaxing nap with them with a head squeezy. Next time you're at work, your boss starts giving you some shit, just put me in a little head squeezy. You'll just cheer him right up. Just cheer the little guy right up. Just give him a little head squeezy.
Let's see if Doug McCoy has learned anything since his run-in with Devlin Blanchard last week.
Well, my comment on that is I think it is inappropriate for you to leave here to go into the ring to argue with the referee.
Somebody.
That is not the mark of a good commentator.
So we missed some stuff. Like I said, a lot of episodes are missing, but from what I can understand, something was going on with referee Doug McCoy in a Shane Cortez match, and Devlin Blanchard got in the ring and Shane Cortez hit him. So, like, I don't know what's going on. But it feels like we're doing the most World Wrestling Empire thing possible, which is not paying attention to anything that's happening in the ring, not really focusing on any of the storylines between the wrestlers or those kind of conflicts, honing in and zooming in and highlighting whatever the commentators think that they want to shoehorn in as a story. So we're apparently rocketing toward a storyline between Devlin Blanchard and referee Doug McCoy. I smell money.
Rocker's going to work on Leopard Man. He points at Devlin Blanchard and goes down with that huge leg drop on the shoulder.
JT Rocker's tights are too high. They're just too high. I don't mind a high cut tights. I mean, that's fine. High cut trunks, go for it. I don't care. But it's too high. It's way too high. The tights are too. If JT Rocker was running for political office, he would be running with the trunks are too damn high party. That's a reference that nobody will get. And if you want to go back even deeper, 15 years before that, this is who JT Rocker looks like. Sometimes you just got to reference stuff for yourself, even if no one watching will get it.
Leopard Man's got him up against the ropes. Gut shot, Irish whip into the ropes. Leopard Man scoops JT up. Sidewalk slam.
JT Rocker did not consent to that sidewalk slam. He was reluctant, heavy, and not certain about this one, guys. Not so sure, guys. If that move were a 1980s coming of age Group of Friends movie, JT Rocker would have been the one that was like, I don't know, guys, maybe we should just stay home and not go look for the treasure. That's as clear of an analogy as I can make.
Oh, and a high flying drop kick by JT Rocker.
JT Rocker's faces are a wild adventure. Like, he goes from just like stone-faced nothing to terrifying and back and forth. He just kind of like toggles between the two. JT Rocker oscillates between 0 and horrifying. That's a talent. JT Rocker looks like Slappy the Dummy. It's really cool that Jiminy Cricket was able to help JT Rocker become a real boy.
Expressions, you can't tell if you've hurt him or not. Well, that's an advantage Leopard Man has got.
I've heard a lot of things about that mask, and I think the reasons behind it are definitely psychological. I don't know about strategy, though.
I've heard that the reasons behind it are criminal.
It wouldn't surprise me if it were mental.
Oh, and a big headbutt. JT is down.
We saw just a short time ago what kind of damage Leopard Man can do with that headbutt.
So Leopard Man's doing a thing where he's pretending to have a foreign object. I guess we're supposed to think, if you're really watching this, like you're really taking notes and just zooming in and really focusing on what's happening, you would see that he put his head down and that maybe he snuck a foreign object into his mask, and then he's like pretending to take it in and out. Because Leopard Man's a terrible performer, it just doesn't read. Like, it doesn't, it just looks like he headbutted the guy and the guy is like for no reason just like really affected by it, like more than normal. It's exactly what you'd expect from a Leopard Man. He only has half of a man brain. The other half is the leopard brain. So if you think about it, with him being half man brain, half leopard brain, he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good for a half man, half leopard.
I
know that feeling. Oh! Good move by Leopard Man to JT. He didn't like it, and he backs him into the corner. Oh, and a big boot by Leopard Man sends JT back.
We've just lost it now. I don't know what's going on. He tried an enziguri, and then I've never seen someone get kicked in the chest by a downed opponent and then go flying backward. Like, I don't know, where would the power come from a kick where you're laying on the ground totally like prone.
Ringside with this man, that wouldn't have happened.
JT Rocker in a lot of pain in the middle of the ring now. Leopard Man going to work on him.
Fans at ringside are yelling that Leopard Man's got something out of his tights.
So he does, he's pretending to have something. I'm convinced he doesn't actually have a foreign object. I have seen that in wrestling. Like, I've been in wrestling matches where like an old school guy was like, yeah, I'll use a foreign object. It's like, well, what do you want to use? And he's like, well, I don't have to have anything. I'll just make it look like I have one. One time, my first year in the wrestling business, there was this guy who had just started wrestling a little bit before me. He's not very good. Won't say any names. You wouldn't know who it was anyway. He'd fit right in here. I'll say that. And he was supposed to win a match by using a foreign object. And one of the old guys in the back just took like a plastic, like, think about like, you know, like the plastic ring around the top of like a milk jug or something like that, but it was bigger. I don't know what it was from, but it was like just a flimsy plastic thing. He took that and wrapped some tape around it, you know, kind of like to make it look a little thicker, and said just slide it on, make it look like knuckles, and hit the guy. So it's literally just like plastic and tape. So this dude goes in and does his bad match, gets to the end, pulls out the thing, really kind of shows the crowd, does a good job of showing them what it is, smacks the dude, you know, knocks the dude out, goes for the 1, 2, 3. Before he goes down for the pin, he takes the foreign object and throws it out into the crowd so that the ref won't see it. And it lands right in front of a group of children. So there's 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, I look over and one of these boys is like picking up the foreign object and shaking it. And like, I watched the moment where the kid realized that wrestling's not real right then and there. You know, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. And I've experienced a lot of truths.
Back. JT's in a lot of trouble right now. He'll have to come around pretty fast.
I will never forgive Leopard Man for intentionally making this match longer. I will never. Leopard Man, I will never forgive you. I don't care. I don't care if you become the biggest hero in the world. I don't care if you cure every disease. I don't care if you stop every natural disaster on the planet. I don't care. This match could have been over and we could have moved on to the next bad thing. But here we are. You feel like a big man?
head, and Leopard Man goes down. JT's back on his feet now.
Once again, Dog McCoy not saying a word. This is a move JT's worked up. It's called the Twisted Sister, and he got it.
So JT Rocker's been in the lab, man. He's been in the lab with a pen and a pad. That's the move he came up with, the Twisted Sister. I love it because for a lot of reasons, not the least of which because the move sucks, but also it didn't even work. Back to the drawing board, JT Rocker. Get back to your light bright and start. I like to imagine that JT Rocker takes notes on a light bright. I don't know that you can, but I like to imagine he just puts shapes in it and then he knows what they mean.
And JT moves back in. Leopard Man comes back with a shot to the midsection, tries to roll him up. Oh, and there it is. Leopard Man able to roll up JT Rocker.
This is Prince Devlin Blanchard of the World Wrestling Empire. I've got my good friend Flamin' Raymond with me.
Flamin' Raymond in his best nightshirt.
I understand now the number is up to 3 men in your stable that have been ambushed by Beaver Cortez.
Cortez, Beaver, Gomez, whatever you want to call him, but he's been ambushed.
Hey guys, stop. Stop. Shane Cortez, Devlin Blanchard thinks it's clever to call him Beaver Cleaver, which by the way, this is in 1995. It's like 30 years after that stupid show, Leave It to Beaver. But then Flamin' Raymond calls him Gomez. So Shane Cortez, Gomez. I mean, what? Like, just stop. You got nothing. It's okay to have nothing. Flamin' Raymond reminds me of the type of guy who would like say something that sucks and doesn't get a laugh and is not clever, but then just keep saying it over and over like it does. And I don't remember. I forgot that he said that till just now. But I would bet he calls Shane Cortez Gomez at least 3 more times. And at no point will it get a reaction that makes any sense to anyone. Calling Shane Cortez Gomez will get no reaction to the action. So I hope you're happy.
Renegade's been ambushed, and he cannot defend the title. There's no way he can defend that title at this time because Gomez and a couple of his comrades beat him up, backstabbed him. I want to tell, Gomez, I'm tired of this, and one way or another, he's going to pay for it. That's all I have to say about it.
I'm with you, brother. More power to you.
We'll get him.
3 men out of his stable. You ain't heard the last of this man. I'll guarantee you that.
Also, Flamin' Raymond's hair looks like an onion loaf. Flamin' Raymond's hair looks like a raccoon skin hat. Flamin' Raymond's hair looks like possibly it's actually the Cheshire Cat.
Between the Texas Outlaws and the Southern Express, they've had many, many tag team battles for the titles. Mondo and Biondo.
Mondo and Biondo? I refuse to even Google that. That's not a thing. Mondo and Biondo. Devlin Blanchard. I wish I could go back in time and explain to Devlin Blanchard that trying to be cool is the least cool thing you can do. Mondo and Biondo. Although he did just remind me about Mondo, the delicious bottled juice from my childhood. So in a way, thanks, Devlin Blanchard. Thanks for being so lame. You reminded me of a kind of okay drink I forgot from when I was 7.
From the Badlands of Texas, Dirty Dan Wilder.
I don't think regular Dan's from the Badlands of Texas. I think he's probably more likely from the Bad at Wrestling lands of Texas. Like regular Dan, I wish that would have been better.
From Nashville, Tennessee, the Tennessee Rebels.
So I'm not even going to show this whole part because we have the Texas flag with the Confederate flag kind of face off on the outside. I've made my feelings about that idiotic Confederate flag known a million times on this show, so I don't feel the need to do it again. So just suffice it to say that everyone in this segment sucks. And it's not just because the Confederate flag is a ridiculous thing to be carrying around at any point, but also they just suck at this. And they suck at wrestling and they suck at life and they probably suck at paying child support. If I had to guess, it's not, just don't, it's just a guess. Okay.
Match.
Yep, will be a title match. I'm gonna digress a little bit here. I'm gonna take a chance and go out on a limb and say, I kind of like the Tennessee Rebel just a little bit, just a little. And there's no punchline.
You kind of liked him. Well, I'm a little amazed to hear that out of your mouth, Devlin Blanchard.
The only problem with him is he's fighting on the wrong side of the ring.
It would probably be easier to list the things that the guys in this match are good at, which would be wearing pants that don't look like pants you would wear in pro wrestling. Yeah. Good job, guys.
This is just another attempt from these two guys to really maim and injure each other.
Don't tease me, Ledge. Don't tease me with the idea of both these guys maiming and injuring each other. I know what you're doing, Ledge, and you know what you're doing, and I'm taken. Okay, stop.
Your mouth, Devlin Blanchard.
The only problem with him is he's fighting on the wrong side of the ring, associating with the wrong people.
There's the bell.
How could Tennessee Rebel be associating with the wrong people as compared to the Texas Outlaws? These guys should all be on the same team. The fact that they're not on the same team feels totally fake. Like, the fakest thing about this fake-ass wrestling show that we're watching is the fact that we're supposed to believe that these guys aren't best buddies. Come on. They're not. You don't think they're having a Budweiser, not a Bud Light, a full, your friend's scary stepdad bottled Budweiser after the show together. They're having I found warm cans of beer in the woods Budweiser together as buddies, probably on the back of someone's truck with the tailgate down. Okay, so don't pour room temperature Budweiser on my back and tell me it's piss.
Dirty Dan Wilder and the Tennessee Rebels circle the ring.
They haven't covered it on commentary, but I did read in the show notes that the loser of this match is no longer allowed to look like they're trying to look like Travis Tritt. So there's a lot on the line with this one. A lot.
Each other, and they want to end each other's careers, whatever it takes.
That's right. Even as a fine a gentleman as a Tennessee Rebel is, I wouldn't be surprised.
Regular Dan. So bad, it's almost impressive.
Dirty Dan goes to work with a forearm to the back.
What is this? Oh! That's like a DDT with your knees.
I wish that's what it was called. I wish it was called a DDT with your knees. Oh, man. We've established before that Regular Dan invented that move. A DDT with your knees. TM. I own it. I will, but before this episode goes out, I will have trademarked that, so don't even try it, okay?
Drives that forehead into the mat. Dirty Dan falls up, reaches around from behind, and tries to pry apart the face of the Tennessee Rebel.
Regular Dan reaching around from behind would be a lot more interesting than this match. I'm sorry. I had to say it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the internet. I think I can, but it's just my truth. It's a great strategy to lock your opponent in a hold mere inches in front of the ropes. It's really just good. Like, why don't people think of that more often? Like, why don't more wrestlers just do that, where you could put a hold on someone and they could just, like, literally, like, one of the strands of their hair could just, like, float forward from the drift of the wind in the room and could cause a rope break. What? Come on. This is 30 years ago they were innovating this stuff. We got to catch. Someday we'll catch up to the World Wrestling Empire.
Right now, that hatred looks like it's turned to fear because Dirty Dan Wilder is not ready to tangle it up in the ring again. Here they go in. Oh, and Dirty Dan goes in with the side leg takeover.
This match, I'm not going to make you watch it. But I just want to note that this match is one full, entire lifetime. This match is like that movie. They went down on that planet that had like more gravity. And so then like what felt like 5 minutes to them, like when they got back to the spaceship, it had been like 50 years or something like that. That's what this match is. Like I'm sitting through this match. It's just like that. This match is just like that, but the opposite. All right. Everyone I know and love went down to that planet where, you know, gravity's higher and time is just kind of normal to them. But I am stuck watching this match for 50 years. And when they come back, I'm going to be a dusty old skeleton.
Tings moved in for the pin. He got it. He was trained in Singapore, ladies and gentlemen. Predator.
Finally, some answers about the mysterious From Singapore Predator. He's not just from Singapore. That's not just his home. He trained in Singapore, which makes all the more sense. Because of course he did. How could you not look at this guy and just immediately see the Singaporean influence?
He is the World Wrestling Empire Heavyweight Champion from Delray Beach, Florida, the Beast!
So this is a big deal, guys. These are former tag team partners. From Singapore Predator and Beast were, as you know, I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you're probably all saying it now before I even say it. They were the tag team called Armageddon. And here we have Armageddon colliding right before our eyes. So we know that money has been injected into the World Wrestling Empire and it's changed everything. Everyone's falling apart. Greed has taken over the whole organization. But the belt, where's the money flow? It flows toward the belt, the championship. And Beast has the championship. And that was enough for him to change his tune. That was enough for Singapore Predator to want the belt of his former best friend. If there's a lesson or a moral at the end of all this, by the time we get through all the WWE, it's that money talks.
Predator is going to be cautious. He knows that Beast is familiar with the type of tactics that he's capable of and can turn the tables and use them against him.
Hold on. Let me just hop on really quick. I got a beta account for one of these AI things. Let me just type in okay, show me what it would look like if untrained wrestlers tried to do jiu-jitsu but also did not know what jiu-jitsu is. Semicolon Tulsa. Period. Okay. Let's see what he comes up with.
I think that's disgusting that you would turncoat and trade on your friends just for these people out here. Well, the Beast is going to have to learn a hard lesson tonight.
From Singapore Predator has one speed, and it's karate. He is a non-stop karate fighting machine. You can't tie those feet down, man. He's got those dancing shoes on. There was a brief moment there where it felt like neither guy knew what to do. Easy problem to solve for From Singapore Predator. No clue what to do next? Answer, karate.
See Renegade back in the ring wars after the vicious ambush.
Of course, right now.
This weird chin hold lock that we get from Singapore Predator, which is followed up by Beast just tracking him down and smacking him in the face.
In the ring, we got Predator going to work on the Beast. The Beast fighting back as best he can. Oh, a big slap by the Beast.
Now, we've talked a lot about innovation on this show, and I'm about to unveil to you the latest innovation that we've come up here in the World Wrestling Empire Laboratory. We have been experimenting hours and hours on new professional wrestling maneuvers to bring to you, and we are proud to unveil the latest and greatest move that we've come up with, and we've bestowed it upon Beast, and he is going to now reveal to you what we're calling the sit out ankle transportation drop slam driver.
Oh, a big slap by the Beast. Now he's got him by the legs, tied up, pushing on him. Oh, and Predator. Things after Silverado's cohorts.
Again, what I say, what to do next? Karate.
Beast is on the mat.
Beast is not using his brains. He's not watching.
Oh, and the Predator going to work on that knee now. He's going to try to take the legs out from underneath the big guy.
From Singapore Predator won't even let Beast get up. This is a karate hurricane. Beast can't even get out of the gates. He's rolling up to try to stand, and he gets karate right to the throat over and over again. From Singapore Predator is the most dangerous man in America, and probably Singapore.
And Beast gets to his feet.
Raymond around checking on the back of Predator. We know that Predator has a bad back and a bad elbow since his fall out of the limousine just a short time ago.
I like the thought that From Singapore Predator is this unstoppable killing machine, except for he was getting out of a limo in front of Brady Street Studios in Tulsa and slipped and hurt his elbow for like 4 weeks. You think his elbow's bad? You should have seen the concrete that he left behind, or what used to be concrete, because it shattered from his very strong elbow.
In the World Wrestling Empire, but right now he's got his hands full with the Predator.
Snap suplex.
It's we're seeing an expansion on the strategy from before. It's a really interesting strategy to try to pin your opponent while half of his body's outside of the ring. Again, it's innovation like that I'm just hoping that eventually we'll come back around to and catch up to.
Must be defended every 30 days.
This match is just like a haphazard, random back and forth of things happening. It's just like From Singapore Predator doing every type of karate he can think of, and then just like Beast standing back up for no reason and then just smacking him back, and then like Beast doing something for a second, and From Singapore Predator just being an unstoppable machine. Like it's just, I'm trying to think like what to even compare this match to. It's like two football teams playing offense against each other at the same time. It's like, I think we're getting somewhere, but it's like kind of hard to tell like who's winning. I don't really know what's going on. There's a lot happening. That's for sure. That's what the World Wrestling Empire's foundation is built on. What's happening doesn't have to make sense, but you get a lot of it. So what are you complaining about?
Showing that he was paying attention the whole...
Again, circling around again mid-match for no reason. What do? Not just karate, backward karate.
These two men stalking each other. They both obviously have a lot of respect for each other because they're taking their time. Oh!
Beast has had enough of the karate and has just decided just to straight up start hitting From Singapore Predator in the face with an open hand just for real. What do you expect? He's Wild Beast from Delray Beach, Florida. This is on you. You should have seen this coming. We call that little standoff there the hit me. What? Hit me. What? I said hit me. What'd you say? Hit me. Oh, that's what that's called. I'm not trying to give away every industry term. That's just one of them.
And sends Predator back into the mat.
You know.
Oh, no. And now Renegade hands that Kane. Oh, and
Predator has got to know.
So it's like the second or third time in a row that we've had to sit through like 20 minutes of match just for From Singapore Predator to be like, enough, I have spoken, and this is end of match, and just grabs his Singapore cane and just beats up his opponent and gets disqualified. Apparently there's no repercussions in the World Wrestling Empire for being disqualified. You can just move right up the ranks and get title shots no matter what happens. You don't have to follow any rules or pen anyone, which is good to know. It's good to know that it's just as easy to get title opportunities as it is to lose the title by, like, I don't know, getting the flu and not being able to come to the show.
From Henrietta, Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen, the high-flying Shane Cortez.
We've been building it up, and it's main event time. Shane Cortez finally one-on-one with Renegade. Remember, Renegade accused Cortez of putting him in the hospital. Cortez said, I did not put you in the hospital, but I will put you in the hospital now. And finally, all the build-up, all this show, we're not even going to commercial. We're going right to it. The final moment. We're at the final boss now. Renegade is back to defend his light heavyweight championship against the up-and-coming Hungry Tiger, Shane Cortez. And it happens right now.
I want to tell all you stupid, idiotic people out there in TV land, my man got hurt. I've been telling everybody in the WWE he's hurt. This stupid Gomez.
3 times. The Gomez hat trick.
Cortez, whatever his name is, hurting him and his comrades, whatever you want to call it. He's hurting. I have as much right to defend that belt as he does. He can't do it, so I want to do it.
Okay, so big swerve here. So Renegade cannot compete. So his manager, Flamin' Raymond's claiming he has a right to defend the light heavyweight championship for his client against Shane Cortez. So our main event just got even bigger. We were excited before about Shane Cortez finally getting his revenge against Renegade for Renegade running around town telling everyone that Shane Cortez put Renegade in the hospital and he really didn't. So now he's going to actually put him in. But this is even bigger. Flamin' Raymond, he's got his ring gear on. He's got his windbreaker on. He's got his little white booties. He's got his helmet of hair. He is ready to defend the light heavyweight championship. So this main event just got huge.
You take it to the board, you get it cleared by them, it's fine with me. But you take it to the board first. I don't have that authority.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Referee Doug McCoy has ruled that upon approval by the board, Flamin' Raymond will be able to defend the light heavyweight belt in place of Renegade. We're going to take a short commercial break and get this straightened out. We'll be right back. This is the World Wrestling Empire. The scoop is this. Flamin' Raymond claims he's got just as much right to defend that title as Renegade does. He's taken the action to the board. Referee Doug McCoy has ruled that if the board approves it, Renegade can allow Flamin' Raymond to defend that title. We're going to take a short commercial break while the shouting's over with and see what we can get figured out. I'm the Ledge sitting here with Devlin Blanchard, and we're going to be right back.
Okay, so we went to one commercial break and came back, and they're still in the ring. But now, finally, we're going for one final commercial break. And when they come back, when we come back from break, we have finally Shane Cortez getting his hands on that Q-tip Flamin' Raymond. Stay tuned and get more excited.
To go before the board, that's going to stall that off just a little while longer. I can't help but believe that's just a stalling tactic on the part of Raymond to try to give Renegade a chance to heal up from that supposed injury there.
Well, the whole situation there is it's down to the 11th hour. It's down to the 29th day. Renegade, of course, being injured, hasn't been able to defend his belt. And I think if the Empire...
No, it's not over till they roll the credits. It's not. This is just they're stringing us along. This is not. It's gonna happen.
Cindy Downey. And the athletic director is Floyd Rabbit. Now then, if you want a copy of tonight's show or want any information concerning the World Wrestling Empire, all you have to do is write to the World Wrestling Empire at P.O. Box 593, Owasso, Oklahoma 740.
Making us sit through match after match after match, promising us a main event, not once, not twice, 3 times, and then just inexplicably pushing it off to next week for no reason, with no explanation given as to why we were built up for the whole show for it just to not happen until next week. Now that's what I call wrestling.